So my reaction to what happened today is, obviously this is a very positive development. I have said from the start that it is sexual assault is a serious crime, but falsely accusing someone of sexual assault is also a very serious crime. And I think what will be interesting in the next couple of weeks is to see whether the District Attorney's Office has any interest in prosecuting Lucia Evans, who you will see from the documents released has clearly, in our opinion, committed perjury on several occasions. There's also an allegation that the lead detective from Special Victims Unit who handled this case discreetly but intentionally discouraged an independent witness from coming forward and testifying about the Lucia Evans perjury. He is now, to my knowledge, been removed from the case, but he may have unfairly tainted these proceedings, depending on who he interviewed and what other misconduct we ultimately disclose. I know the District Attorney's Office, and based on what they said in the courtroom, is attempting to suggest that this is a non-event with respect to the rest of the case. I beg to differ. When one of the principal allegations in this indictment is predicated on perjured testimony, that's a very big, important development. And I want to say something because I get these questions emailed to me, so let me say it so that you at least have it. This is not about victim shaming, and this is not about suggesting that a woman who comes forward should not be believed absent proof. This is about proof that a witness who came forward committed perjury in the grand jury. And the District Attorney's Office, to its credit, has decided to dismiss this indictment because they discovered this perjury, but they discovered it because they did their investigation after the arrest of Harvey Weinstein. And what troubles me is that when you are vilified in the media, as has Mr. Weinstein, there is a rush to judgment, which is offensive to the concept of fairness and due process. There is a rush to arrest. There is pressure to arrest. And what you see is what happened in this case. When you do your homework after the arrest, bad things happen. And we are pleased with this development. The case is not over, but I think it is permanently and irreparably damaged. We will seek to dismiss the indictment, all of the counts, and I just want to make one other comment. The charge of rape that's in this case, and the only rape that Mr. Weinstein has been criminally accused of, that is based on a consensual relationship we maintained that lasted for many years. We provided the court with at least 40 emails from the woman who claims to have been raped to Mr. Weinstein after the alleged rape that are endearing, intimate, loving, kind, arranging to meet with him again. And the response from the District Attorney's Office is, we didn't have to let the grand jury know that. And by the way, there is nothing in any of the emails suggesting that a rape did not happen. Why would you have an email saying that a rape did not happen if a rape did not happen? So it's, I think, sort of a not an intelligent response from a group of really intelligent lawyers, but I think they're dancing as fast as they can. I'll take a couple of questions.
What was your client's reaction? I know you only had a bit with him so far, but what was his reaction when he heard what was out?
We've known about this development for weeks. We've been under protective order, and we weren't permitted to discuss it. So today did not come as a surprise. He is obviously relieved and to some degree pleased, but Harvey Weinstein has maintained from the beginning that he never sexually assaulted Lucia Evans or any of the other women that he's been accused of assaulting. So he's pleased that now the District Attorney's Office even agrees that he hasn't been guilty of sexual assault, at least with respect to Lucia Evans. And what Ms. Aluzzi referred to as continuing to interview other witnesses, I hope they do, and I hope they really interview them. But I hope they also investigate these allegations. Nobody did, with all due respect to the brilliant journalists who covered this case. A New Yorker fact checker stumbled upon this evidence, as you will see from the letter that will be unsealed today, and the New Yorker did nothing to push back against Lucia Evans and used her repeatedly as a key witness in all of their articles.
How did Mrs. Evans perjure herself? How did she perjure herself? And what's the detective's name involved?
The detective is Nicholas DeGaudio. He is the lead detective. He is the one who walked Harvey Weinstein out of the precinct, slapping handcuffs on him, and I think before he slapped the handcuffs on him, he should have done a little bit more investigation.
What did her letter say?
I think you will see from the letter that the court unseals today. It's sort of self-explanatory. It's stunning, and it's too complicated to address in response to a single question. Yeah, its headline is that the main witness in the district attorney's office lied, and detective who led the investigation committed what we believe to be serious criminal conduct. That's my headline. You can write a number of other headlines from that letter, and I think you could write a book about that letter because it tells you what happened here. And what happened here is Harvey Weinstein was so vilified that he was considered to be low-hanging fruit. You just indict him and you worry about convicting them later. And you know what's happened is now that I'm drilling down on some of these allegations and the district attorney's office is drilling down on these allegations, this case is not what it was cracked up to be when it was first announced. And let me just say something else so that you don't call me later. This is not a condemnation of the Me Too movement. A movement can be good if what it does is level the playing field for women and professions in industry, and that helps them lead easier lives and it doesn't expose them to harassment and abuse. That could be something very good. But when a movement pushes prosecutors to arrest people who have not committed a crime and then charges them with those crimes, then it's a dangerous movement.
And what about the DA saying that she's going full steam ahead?
I don't know what else they could say. Could they say that we screwed up? I don't think they were predisposed to say that, and I don't think they have any choice. The New York Times, God bless this wonderful newspaper that I read every day, suggested that if Mr. Weinstein wasn't arrested immediately, Mr. Vance would have no ability to continue on as DA, and his legacy would be tarnished. A couple of days later, Mr. Weinstein was indicted. That's not right. Can you raise your voice just a little bit?
Hi, yes. Back to the question, if I may. Can you just recap, count 6 is, can you just recap what exactly count 6 is for the charges? And also, is that the only charge that pertains to Lucia Evans?
Count 6 is a sexual assault charge, which is based on Lucia Evans as the complaining witness. However, we believe that she factors into the decision to raise the ante and try and suggest that Mr. Weinstein is a sexual predator, and I believe that this has contaminated the entire grand jury process.
Does that mean that he is no longer facing any charges directly in relation to Lucia Evans' allegations?
In our opinion, he should not be, but then it's a question of how the court interprets count 1 of the indictment, which we believe must be dismissed if you dismiss count 6, but the DA's office is not prepared to do that yet.
So is it accurate to say he's still facing criminal charges relating to allegations by 3 women or 2 women?
I think it's fair to say that he's facing allegations relating to 2 women in principle, but we argue that Lucia Evans' perjury contaminates certainly count 1, but in our opinion, the entire grand jury presentation.
And is the judge making the decision on the entirety December 20th? What's that date?
I think on December 20th, the judge will rule on the balance of our motions and the motions that we intend to submit in November, and those will, in our opinion, affect the balance of the indictment. And with all due respect to a judge I admire, I'm not certain he will have any choice but to dismiss the entire indictment against Harvey Weinstein.
So you think what happened here today was a definite confirmation that this is all wrong, it's all tainted, as you said, that's all the charges. He should walk free and drop. This was a
I think what people need to understand is that the same grand jury who voted to indict him for a sexual assault of Lucia Evans is the same grand jury that voted to indict him for rape without having access to the emails, which demonstrate, in our opinion, that there was no rape. And it's not possible for us to now repair the damage and prejudice that these matters caused to the grand jury. I think this grand jury is irreparably damaged. I think the case against Mr. Weinstein is, in my view, not sustainable. And I think at the end of the day, this is quite remarkable, and that's something that one of the lawyers representing one of the women, well, this is a Brafman trick. This is not a trick. This is an attack on the fundamental integrity of the grand jury process. If you have a person willing to commit perjury in the grand jury, that is as serious as the crime of sexual assault, because it undermines the fairness of the process for all of us.